I wanted action being taken, and that's what I was going to do. And if the chief constable would have said, no, we're not sacking them, the only person I can sack is the chief constable. So I would have sacked him and hired somebody who was willing to do what I wanted them to do. I don't even think I want a national inquiry into this because, like I said before, it'll just be hamstrung from day one. It won't lead to anything. What we need is action. What I was going to do last year when I ran for Mayor of Greater Manchester, if I was elected, I was going to look at every report ever done in Greater Manchester. There's about a dozen of them, 15 of them. And I was going to get grouped together with people like Maggie Oliver and some other people involved in this in Greater Manchester. And I was going to get them to highlight every name of every senior police officer mentioned in those reports who failed in their duty. And I was going to sack them all. And I was going to allow them to take us to court for unfair dismissal. And we'll have it out in court. We may have lost all the cases, had to pay him off, but the message would have been sent around the country that the days of not doing your duty are over because you will be sacked. You will have your reputation ruined. You might have to go to court to claim compensation of, being fired. But I don't care. I wanted action being taken, and that's what I was going to do. And if the chief constable would have said, no, we're not sacking them, the only person I can sack is the chief constable. So I would have sacked him and hired somebody who was willing to do what I wanted them to do. And I would have caused a stir that would have changed this country. And all this is wrote in my manifesto that I released last year. That's what we need. We need action. I don't want any more reports anymore, because reports take 2-3 years and cost £100 million. I wanted action, and that's what we need now, action.
I couldn't agree more. I mean, I don't know this new Chief Constable of Greater Manchester Police, but apparently he's quite old school, and he has actually started to sort the place out. I don't know how true that is, by the way. This is what I hear, because I don't live in
I would say at the moment, he comes across as the best Chief Constable in the country. Now,
not a great deal of competition, though, is there?
Well, but at least he's the top of the pile. So
yeah, I agree. Yeah.
He is old school. Police officers, he's been in charge now for 3 years. Police officers now don't wear rainbow stuff. We don't have rainbow cars anymore now. Police officers don't dance like idiots at Pride. He's done some of the changes, but he only can change what the mayor allows him to change. So I have no idea if he'd like to go further. I was going to give him a chance. And if he impressed me, he'd stay. If he didn't impress me, I'd sack him. But I would have given him a chance, because if you can take the cuffs off him, maybe he can do a lot more.
Maybe, but it's nice to see somebody actually doing something, isn't it, for a change, trying to change things. I mean, Greater Manchester Police was at rock bottom anyway, so I suppose he had basically a clean slate to build from, didn't he? At least he tried to do something more than Andy Burnham, I would say, has ever done for Manchester. But yes, going back to your original point, we definitely need action. But the problem is, how do you find out who to go after, or punish, or sack, or whatever it may be, or expose, if you don't look into what went on in the first place? The only way to do it, as you pointed out before, I think, would be if some really good investigative journalists got onto some of these people, got onto these civil servants, tried to find some whistleblowers inside the councils, inside the police, and to see what actually went on. Why was some paedophile able to go into, I think it was Oldham Police Station, and actually pick up one of these girls and take her back? Why were the police arresting dads who tried to get to these properties and get in there to get their daughters out, knowing what was going on, yet the police arrested the parents? These are the people, for me, that need... Well, I know what I'd like to do to them, but we can't. So these are the people that need locking up. As far as I'm concerned, throw away the key, lock them up. Or at least exposing, so they can never live a normal life ever again. That's what I'd do to them. Like you said, if you've got to take people to court and they want their compensation for being sacked, then fine. But I'm going to make sure that everything you did, everything that you allowed to happen, comes out in that courtroom. That's what you'll have to go through to get compensation out of me.
Exactly. We start ruining reputations. If we've got enough evidence, we lock them up, but we might not be able to find that evidence. That's why I was going to go straight to sacking people, because at least I knew I could get that done and get it done very soon, not wait 5 years for legal team to say you can lock them up. I was going to do something straight away.